Howdy, everybody. We are live once again. Took a week off to try to figure out how to run this off the laptop, so bear with me. I think we have got it, but we'll see what happens. I don't really know. I can tell my camera is not working with me. I'm looking at the screen and it's too high, but that's okay. How are you guys doing?
Aaron?
No. Oh. I'm doing good. Living the dream. Working every day and fishing as much as I can.
Yeah. What did you guys get up to this weekend?
This weekend, a little bit of fishing. Actually, we're just kind of not doing much. No fishing this weekend. Actually, we're just kind of going visiting and having some fun. Went to Veronica Barnes, her little party there. Checked her out, talked to her about some fishing platforms, and wanted to go and meet her. She's the one in charge of all the Wadman Waves.
Okay.
The skate park and stuff like that. So, I gave her some advice, and maybe we could work together with helping her promote those little those tournaments. Not little, but promote those tournaments properly to where we can just get on the go with some of those, get more interest in people getting involved with her. So yeah, a little bit of fish talk.
Do you guys have any plans coming up in the future here?
I just said when I asked, if she wouldn't mind if she had some plans come up, just run it by us and we can check it out and talk about stuff when it comes up. As of now, I don't think so. Not coming up right in the near future, but I could be wrong. A bit more talks with her, and we'll get on the same page.
Yeah. Is there going to be more? Because there's still quite a bit of open water season, so there might be something in the fall, or they're going to wait for ice again.
Well, hopefully there's a little bit of open water fishing. Hopefully, that's awesome. But I think the ice fishing is a bigger turnout, just because not everybody has a boat, and lots of people can just walk out and enjoy a family event and stuff like that. The whole crew. So either way, I'll definitely get with her within a week or so and just see if she's got anything on the go. So I'll let you know for sure.
Right on. Broden, what did you get up to?
Yeah.
Not a lot. Decided to get a feed of perch, so I went out to a little local pond and did pretty well for myself. And then on the Sunday, sort of repaid a good favor to a good buddy of mine and took him to the Pike Lake that I do pretty well on. And then unfortunately found out that I had broken my wrist 2 weeks prior. Probably explaining why my wrist hurt so much. So now I'm in a nice little wristband for a while.
Yeah. No, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. I think it more sucks that I didn't actually realize I'd broken and been working for the last 2 weeks with it. Yeah. Saying, why is this thing hurting so much?
It's okay. If you're still working, it's not that bad, is it?
No. They said it's a small one and it's already started to heal. It's just going to cause pain in certain positions, which I'm like, fine with it.
What were you what tactics were you using for your perch?
I was running little Marco Trulli's 4mm tungstens with some maggots on the end, as well as the smallest dinner bell from Frostbite you can get. And it's a little white one with a pink blade in the middle. Yeah. And that thing actually turned out to be doing better than the bait. We're just doing little micro jigging. I brought my little ice rod out and just looking down there and just sort of doing a bit of micro jigs, and you'll just see this perch just steamroll it.
Yeah. So you're pretty much spot fishing them.
Yeah. The lake's clear enough you can watch them.
Did you have any maggots or anything on your spoon, or they were just hitting it?
They were just hitting that.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What size of line were you using?
I was down to 4 pound.
Nice.
Yeah. Like if I saw a few trout around, but they didn't want anything to do with it. So I'm pretty happy that they didn't, because only with 4 pound it can be a bit hairy.
It's just more fun.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's a little less hairy in open water than what it is in an ice hole when a trout bites 4 pound.
Yeah. So you got a good fish fry. Did you fry them up and batter and everything?
I just pan fried them, just regular with a little bit of garlic butter.
Nice.
And bacon.
Sweet.
Everything's
the old
better.
Bacon always helps.
Yeah.
It's good as a side and it's good as a main. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
In hunting camp, we call that shake and bacon. Rabbit, grouse, you do a little shake and bake and fry it in bacon.
Nice.
They're nothing better.
Yum.
So let's talk a little about kayaks. I know you both have kayaks. It's kind of more and more people are getting into the sport. Broden, what would you recommend for a starter kayak for someone just looking to get into, and what should they look for?
Well, it's most important thing is what with budget. So depending on what your budget is, depending on where you start off with. Like I've said previously on the show, a Cabela's Ascend is a good starting kayak. I would honestly probably jump over the Pelicans. I'm not a fan of them personally. I've tried them. And Ascend seems to be a little bit more user-friendly and stable.
Yeah.
It paddles like a barge, but you're also more stable. And that's, I think, a better thing for an entry-level person. Stability over speed is definitely a major thing. And obviously, paddle, you can pick one up from Canadian Tire or Cabela's pretty cheaply, and a life jacket, the same thing. And that's basically all you need.
Yeah, Adam's saying he almost died on Lake Erie in a kayak. That's a pretty big lake to be kayaking on, I think.
That's not that big. I fish in the ocean with one.
Oh.
Adam needs to get his sea leg.
Aaron, what do you think some important things that you think getting into a kayak? Like, does it depend like how tall you are? Do you want a longer one? Weight class?
Yeah, it definitely depends on your size and weight. That has a big factor in what you're purchasing. You're almost best to try a kayak out for the first time, like even go to a kayak club or a kayak association or whatever, and go rent one for the day and see whether you like it or not, first and foremost. Second of all, what do you want to be in? Do you want to be on a sit-on top kayak? Do you want to be a kayak? I guess it all depends on what interests you. Are you fishing out of it? Are you using it for exercise? I'm running a pellet now, just a fishing, one of the just a bottom model fishing kayak. But I mean, once I got it, it's a sit on top. So I have access to kind of everything I have. It's got all the mounts and stuff like that. I'm progressively just adding on to it to make it better for me. But all around, I love the thing. Like once I got onto it, that was it. There was no stopping it. I was full on kayak for the rest of my life. It's nice to get in those little small spots, away from other anglers. Go sit in shallows, do your thing. I can stand on mine. It's not recommended, but I can stand on it and do a little bit of casting in a nice little shallow area. But I have full out gone and stood on top of it. But all in all, it's a 10-footer. So whether you want a 10-footer, a 12-footer, 10-footer, you're moving quite a bit more than you would in a big 12, right? 12, you're stationary. And then anchors, and of course, you're going to want to have anchors, like Broden said, your paddles, your life jackets, and all your safety equipment too as well, because you got to have the same kind of equipment as you do on a boat. You're going to have that whistle, you're going to want to have your life jacket and all that other stuff that goes with safety. So,
yeah.
And then also a 5-pound weight for boaters who get too close.
Yeah. Yeah,
You got a big buggy whip?
Just carry the big custom rod out there with a big weight on it. This thing's ready to go down, so I can throw something pretty heavy out. No, everyone's actually been pretty respectful.
Yeah, you get the odd one or two, but the amount of lakes we've been at, the odd one or two isn't so bad.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
Adam's wondering,
another thing.
if you flip your kayak, is your fish finder pooched?
No. I have yet to flip my kayak. And, well, I've flipped my kayak purposely to see how hard it is to flip it back around. But most fish finders these days come fully waterproof, or at least water sealed to a certain number of meters, and mine's hard fixed to the kayak. So when you flip it, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. Right. I think it's all a matter of what are you going to lose when you do flip your kayak. So what's not tied down, right? What doesn't float on your kayak? And I would get rid of all that, secure everything. Think about that time when you do flip.
Yeah. Do you guys have wet bags to keep most of your stuff in, or dry bags?
Yeah, you betcha. Everything seems to be tethered, right? You want to tether your cell phone if you're doing recording or whatever. Your GoPro's waterproof and all that stuff, but make sure everything's anchored down. And if you do flip the kayak, just think about what's going to go down.
Yeah.
But tethers, a lot of tethers, man.
See, I do recommend tethers or floats or something like that, but I personally hate them. I just find they always get in the way and everything, so nothing in my kayak is tethered. Everything I can pull out, I've tried them, it just gets in the way of everything, and the only thing that's tethered to me is my phone, and the rest of the stuff, like my milk crate's tethered to my kayak, and the rods sit in the rod holders. That's fine. I am yet to lose anything out. The only thing I've lost overboard is probably a tube jig that I accidentally kicked overboard. That's about it.
Yeah.
What's in your milk crate?
My milk crate? Well, I call it a milk crate, but it's technically really not a milk crate. It's a Yak Attack Black Pack Pro. It's got basically most of my tackle for the day, and pliers, little first aid kit, water in there, as well as it's got the rod holders along the side of it. Yeah.
What do you run for a sonar on your kayaks?
Aaron or me?
I'm fishing. I'm honestly fishing blind on kayak.
Yeah.
You're I don't use it online whatsoever. I was thinking about it, but 9 times out of 10, I'm fishing with probably Kyle or Mike or somebody. They always got technology, so they'll be telling me dates and where the fish is on. So I'll go scoot over by them, kind of fish together so we can chat and stuff. I don't mean to totally steal all their equipment and stuff, but I've always fished blind and always managed to locate no matter where I'm at. So I never really needed technology when it came to it.
Yeah. I'm a little bit fancy. I have a Garmin EchoMap Plus 7 SV, so I've got the side scan, clear view, and everything on it. I was lucky enough that I actually won that, which helped a lot. And that's definitely helps a lot, especially side scan when if I'm out on Cold Lake or anything. Side scan helps narrow everything down really quickly, because you can all of a sudden see the bait ball 100 feet out that way. You just paddle over there, you're fine. It's also got mapping, and I can, for any lakes that aren't mapped, I can do maps for them and keep them which is really handy for ice fishing.
Yeah. I have the same fish finder, and I left it in my ice fishing package, but just connected it to my trolling motor on the front, on the bottom, and that side imaging, you could pick out the lake trout sitting there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Off to the side of the boat on the drop-offs and everything. So it's pretty crazy.
And I have seen a couple of guys grab the old Vexilers, put them in the front of them, and they'll just drop it down beside them. They're like, you can take anyone, if they've got a little kayak, you can grab your little ice shuttle and put it in front of you and just drop your little transducer off the side, and you've just got like ice fishing then.
Yeah, the Vexlar, I think it's the FL18s have that spot lock. So even in the summer, you can lock the bottom. Even with the waves, they'll hold that bottom for you.
Oh,
because I have that Vexlar too. And so you can hit lock, and in the waves, it won't affect your. If you hit the button, it won't affect your range. It'll stay on there and just lock it the whole time.
See, I've only got the 8.
Yeah, I think it's the 18 up has that feature.
I guess I'm going to be spending more money for ice season then.
You don't need it for ice season. Just open water.
Yeah, but
have you guys seen the new Livescope?
Oh god.
Yeah. Well, they only just brought out a new one 3 or 4 months ago, and now they've brought out another new one.
They brought out the 34, and now they have the XR.
Yeah.
And it has 500 feet range. And
That
350 in saltwater.
See, I'm intrigued to see how much, because like most statistics and everything on fish finders, they don't seem to be 100% correct. So I'll be very intrigued to see how well response you get with the Livescope in Cold Lake for those lakers.
Yeah. With the 500 though, that's crazy. Even if you're Cold Lake's only 300 some feet deep, so
yeah, that's true.
It's going to be insane. I think saltwater, they said 350.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty crazy game changer right there.
That's That's definitely going to be massive for anyone to go into that Cold Lake tournament for the Lakers. Going to save a little time.
Josh is wondering how you find the fish without the electronics. What do you guys do for those tactics?
So my first year kayak fishing, when I didn't have a fish finder, I would generally 9 times out of 10, I would sort of, because I had really good polarized glasses, and most of the lakes you can sort of have a gauge of, you can sort of see most of it. Like obviously during some time of the year you cannot see anything. It's all out. But easiest thing to do is just sort of remember the basics and just look for certain sort of drop offs and understand maps. You can obviously gauge things. So if you look at, let's say for instance, Battle Lake just south of Edmonton, you've got the map online, and you can actually look at it and sort of roughly gauge the distance to where some of those drop offs are. And so from the shoreline, so if you want to paddle or boat all the way over to a certain shoreline and know that it's roughly 30, 40 feet off that shoreline, then you can sort of work your way in and drop your line down. And obviously that's how I used to use it with the kayak. I used to drop the line down and sort of roughly gauge, okay, that's not quite the drop off, so you paddle off further and so further, or if you're too far, you want to go in closer. And that's something that's obviously for walleye. Pike, just cabbage in the lily pads.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. True. Trout fishing, you can generally. Well, I only fish for trout in the spring and the fall, so I'm generally fishing them in 10 foot or less. So generally speaking, I can see the bottom, I can see what's sort of beneath me, and then I sort of play it from there.
Aaron?
Yeah. I definitely say memory. Memory helps a lot. I ice fish quite a bit, and I know all these spots. I know the fight. Another thing, like, and everything that Wooden just said, like I kayak too, so I'm using all those tips and tactics as well. But another thing is your anchor. You know how long your anchor is. You know what depth that's going to kick out at. So you can just run your anchor and hit those holes or wherever you're going is when you're fishing. You know the spots. You know where they are. Like you said, the pike or anywhere along the shoreline. You can sight fish for the perch. If you want to go and hit them in that depth and know where they're at that 30 mark than just go where you went ice fishing. So a lot of it's like revisiting the same lakes, but your spots when you're ice fish are the same spots that you're going to be kayak on too as well.
Yeah. If you're going to a new lake, maps and
Maps.
structure, Google Earth is your friend. You can find stumps sitting there.
Yeah.
You can find those points where the fish are going to funnel to. Depending on the wind, which way the wind's going around a point, it's going to push all the bait around that corner, and they're going to get in that calmer water. And Google Earth, depth charts, and weather is your friend on those things.
Or like Aaron mentioned before, just fish right beside someone who did. I did that. I did that my first year at Port Lake, and I'm just fishing away, jigging away, and I'm not catching anything. And my buddy Dave paddled up to me, says, "Yeah, we're an extra 30 foot deeper." So I just drop it down. All of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, fish. Oh, there we go. So yeah.
You bet.
Adam wants you to go fish some awesome spots on the rivers with your kayaks, then just tether them to him. So then he can come too. I don't know if he's going to ride on a tube down the river or what, but he wants your manpower to take him all to the good spots.
Absolutely. Anytime. Let's go to the Athabasca.
Yeah. I can definitely...
with those new live targets or all the new stuff, Livescope, live imaging, they're getting so advanced. I agree with Adam. Like, it's taking away the work out of the fishing tournaments.
Absolutely.
Because you can see so far now. It's crazy.
It's definitely, what would you say? It's definitely segregating the packs. It's like you can't just have your run-of-the-mill weekend warrior going out there, like competing tournaments while you've got Joe Blow over there with $80,000 boat, all the live scope and all that, and basically getting fish out of a barrel. It's the thing with these new tournaments now, more and more money getting spent, bigger prize payouts. It's sort of slowly thinning out the people who can't really afford any of that.
But
turning into a pay-to-play.
When we fished Cold Lake this summer, there was a guy beside us with a Livescope, anchored, just like ice fishing pretty much. And like, oh, it's coming. We could hear him. But we were just going up the drop-off, down the drop-off, and we're hitting fish every time when they had to wait for those fish.
Yeah. I do agree. Electronics can only get you so far. It does take skill and knowledge. That is the thing. Because, you can have all the fancy electronics in the world and still not catch a fish.
Yeah, you're still going to run out. You're still going to troll anyway and see what you can get, all day. If jigging's not working, you go do some trolling. You're getting out and you're going. So they don't really help. We do a lot of trolling, doing a lot of jigging. Half the time we don't use electronics. So, just catch fish. Yeah.
And in the summer, the fish are moving, so sometimes those ice spots aren't working anymore.
True that. Yeah, exactly. I found new spots with my kayak, and that's how I discovered sight fishing, right? Like just looking down and saying, that's 4 feet, and then seeing 15 perch there. Way you go, right? You found a new spot.
Yeah, because your vegetation is totally different. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to have those cabbage lines out there. You're not going to have those. So you go back to your basic structures like a drop off or a flat on the edge of some weeds, existing weeds.
Yeah.
But
and like you said before, Mitch, with Google Earth, it's a great thing. Like you can physically see the water color change, and that's where you can pick up on the water ledge. Oh.
Yeah.
No.
With finding those locations on a new lake, what's the first area you guys are going to look? So you checked your maps, you checked the depth chart. What is the go-to spot you're going to try, say, for a walleye?
The mouth.
The mouth of what? There's no river.
Yeah, anywhere. Like, yeah, I've been exploring some new lakes now and finding that the mouths are working pretty good, but they also go into another lake. Saskatchewan's a great place to fish, man. I love it. So, but other than that, yeah, I'm going deep. I love to go to the 30. I like to go those holes with the shelf all the way up. That just something like this. Look for two structures like we call them let's say 2 mounds, right? Somewhere in between those. I guess it all depends on what species you're after too as well. But if I'm to go, I'm looking for those humps. I'm going to try to find the humps.
Yeah. Out in the middle.
Yeah.
Or wherever.
Yeah.
With that said, do you change your depths as the temperature gets hotter in the summer?
100%. And I also change the times that I fish. So generally speaking, I'm still, surprisingly enough, the water temps in some of the lakes I'm fishing is still cold enough that I'm catching them rather shallow. I haven't quite needed to go down to the 20-foot range. So generally speaking, I'll go to, when the water temperatures get up another probably 5 to 7 degrees more, I'll notice the walleye will start to go down deeper. But at the moment, so far, I'm catching a lot of my walleye at the top of the drop-offs in the sort of almost like some even at 7 feet, but most of them around the 12-foot, 11-foot mark.
Do you have a hard weed line at the top of that drop-off?
In a lot of them, yes.
Yeah, so they'll be sucking against that for the shade, and the bait will just be sneaking out, and that's great ambush spot always.
100%. Great.
Adam was wondering, what's the proper size for a kayak for your anchor?
It depends on the size of your kayak a little bit, but I have actually gone down to a 3.5 pound. It's I've got it in my car. It's a tight line anchor. It's got a lot bigger grappling sort of spikes, and so it grabs into the dirt a lot better. Depending on everything, the weather and all that, like if you're in 40-kilometer winds, no real anchor is going to hold you down. You're going to have to accept the facts. But mind you, my anchor that I've had that in 25 to 30 and barely moved, because basic anchoring, what I see a lot of people who don't practice it a lot, is to help you stay put, let more line out, because then you actually reduce the angle. And so it goes with boats and anything. The more line you have out, the less angle you have, and it actually pulls through the ground instead of pulling out of the ground, and you wind up actually staying put. As well as if you really want to make sure you're not going to move, you can always add a little small piece of chain on the end of it, and that'll help keep the anchor down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where do you guys hook up an anchor to on your kayak? Like, where do you place it?
I have what they call an anchor trolley. So that is a little pulley system along the side that I've drilled into it. And so depending on and it's got a little plastic hole in it, and I run my line through that. And so what I can do then is, depending on if I want to fish a river or even a lake, depending on wind and everything, I can position my kayak to be facing one direction or the other. And it helps a lot. But I'm finding myself a lot lately not anchoring up. I'm sort of judging the wind and judging drop-offs and sort of weed beds and everything, and drifting along them, and just having a lot better luck, because stationary fishing does work really well for me, but I cover so much more ground drifting and having far better things.
Yeah, you're always hitting new fish.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you prefer morning or evening fishing?
I like both, probably just the same. I find that I'm more distracted with doing something after we're done fishing than I would be in the morning. Like, the morning seems to be at the where your head's clear and you just want to get the whole day in. But around the end at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever time you're fishing, until I always find myself more distracted with loading things, getting things off the lake, figuring out what we're doing for the rest of the night. So I'm most curious and most content would be morning fishing.
Yeah. Broden?
I'm definitely more of a morning guy. When I say morning, I'm normally, generally speaking, setting up ready to fish at 3 in the morning. And then I will, 9 times out of 10, I will hang around the lake, but generally have a nap midday and then try to get a little bit of the evening bite too. But I do find it in the morning.
You guys never hit the 11 o'clock bite?
Well, we're all day fishermen.
Huh?
What's that? Well, no, I used to fish it. You're talking about the 11 o'clock at night, right?
No, for walleye, I can have a hot bite at 11.
Oh no, I'll still fish
During
there.
the day.
I'll have like a small nap midday, like as in just after 12ish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when I generally find a lull. As Aaron knew, I fell asleep on a little lake just outside of his place for a couple of hours at least.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, man. I know so many anglers who have a nap. I've been guilty myself. But no, I fished. I know that 11 o'clock, they bite all different weird hours throughout the day. Like, I don't rarely get off the lake. I'm fishing all day or going to the lake, right? But what time to leave the lake is when usually around 2 is when things really slow down for me. Like that's when that 2 to 3 o'clock, are we going to go to another lake or are we just going to finish it off here? But I find with a lot of stock trout ponds, I find they don't start, they only bite in the morning and they only bite in the late evening. Personally, with the trout, I'm having a hard time. They don't only within trout.
We lost you, Aaron. You're breaking up.
All disappeared.
Yeah, for trout for sure. Morning bite, late evening is always better. That 10 to 4 feet range when they're cruising looking for minnows, and that's where you're gonna catch your bigger trout.
Yeah.
100%. Have you guys been trout fishing lately? I know the creeks are coming down. You guys got any plans to head out to some new areas? Broden?
I had plans until this, but
come on, useless.
You're not going to break your wrist when you fly fish now. It's solid, right?
I'm thinking because there's a little mount here, because I thought, well, like if they do decide to put a cast on, I could also fiberglass a little pole in there and just put my rod in there, and that'll be locked in there and I'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fine. Like,
just tell them to put an attachment in.
Yeah. Oh, and fly fishing, I'm right. Well, the thing is, I cast left spin fishing, but I cast right fly fishing, so I'm fine fly fishing, so I'll be fine.
Do you cast with one arm, then switch your rod?
No, that's
okay.
retarded.
Yeah.
Can I say that, or is that too? Is that not too?
No. I was just wondering.
No,
crazy when I see that.
No, funny thing is, I used to cast right-handed and then wind left, and then I unfortunately injured my right hand. This was back when I was teenage years and wrecked my hand for a while. So I started casting with my left and then using my 2 fingers to reel in, and then eventually stuck with left-handed.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh.
That's like playing I play hockey left and golf right, but I always fish the same way. Cast.
Yeah. I think it's more so my first fly rod came set up for right-handed casting, and I was like just like mucking around with it, and I was just like, honestly was probably just too lazy to switch it over, and I was like, I can work with this.
The Aussie mentality, is that what it was?
Yeah, just make it work.
Aaron, do you switch hands when you cast?
No.
No. I think he's frozen. He's frozen in a big smile.
He is too.
I'm frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen. Now you're smiling. Now you've got a stick waving in the air.
Oh, I suck.
I know the streams have come down. I was out west, not this weekend. We had weddings and stuff. My sister's down, so we've been busy. But actually, I did get out for some walleye early in the morning with my buddy Adam. The morning bite was slow. Then at 10:30, it just locked on. Like I told you guys earlier, we just started hitting them.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to leave at 11. I think we left at 11:30, 11:45. But as soon as that 10:30 hit, that bite was on, and this guy just pulls up. How's the fish? And we're like slow. Then it's just like, boom, there's one as he's like 10 feet away from us, because I don't know why he had to come so close. He has a whole lake. Yeah. There's no one on this drop off. He's right beside us. It's like, boom. Oh, there's a fish. Yeah, it's slow. Then Adam hooks up, double header right then. So then he sits like 30 yards from us. Then his buddy comes, and they're all just locked around us. But we still did much better than them until we had to leave, because it was just like whack, whack. But
tell us what you really think.
Well, come on, give a guy some room. Like, just because you're catching fish right here, you don't have to sit right on it.
Well, that's true.
You can pay for the trip if you want. But yeah, I know I'm eager to get back out on the streams. Everything's looking good these days. Everything's coming down. Do you guys have any plan? What are you guys looking to focus on for creek fishing this year? Bro, then we'll go with you. We'll always go to the right and circle around.
We got a system. Okay, good. Honestly, I really want to target more grayling this year. I have caught a few 11s and 12s, and I want to find a 14 this year. I'm hoping to find the 14. And I think they're great, especially on like my 3 and 4 weight. And they're just awesome, little fun.
Yeah. Do you have a specific hook you're going to use for the grayling? Like a favorite? I know they're pretty aggressive. So
you could throw anything at those things, but most of the time I will run a little what do you call it? I'll run a size 12 hopper. Tiny little hopper, because when I generally target grayling is right now is when hopper season's in, as well as probably my most favorite fly to use is a purple haze parachute Adams. Those things are stupidly effective on everything, and I use them quite a lot for grayling, as well as a few micro leeches I seem to have pretty good success on.
And are you fishing seams on runs or pools, or what do you like to target them in?
I've had rather good success with grayling in the current.
Yeah.
I'll just throw a hopper on there, and and even like a hopper dropper setup, and just watch the fury happen. Especially when I've had been fishing up near Athabasca and was running a rather large hopper for the river, for that section of the river. And I swear there was this small stream that had probably 20 bites in one run, but they're all little grayling trying to take this hopper down.
Yeah. And how deep are those runs you're kind of targeting?
They're only, most of them that I'm finding, it's only 2 to 3 foot. and those runs. I will also fish some of the pools, but a lot of the creeks and little tributaries I fish for them, they don't get much deeper than 5 foot in some of those pools. That's about it.
How wide would you say that little creek is?
Oh, right now, you'd be probably 20 feet,
Okay.
25 feet, yeah. In its bigger sections, but it narrows down in quite a few.
Aaron, do you got any plans to chase some trout in the foothills?
Not really, no. Not at all. I just do some river fishing pretty much. I know. I got to get on this. I was thinking about taking my kayak down the creek right by my place and exploring not just on the kayak back and forth to see what it takes me to. It takes me to 2 lakes, one on both sides. So I'm looking forward to exploring that, actually. I know there's some big pike in there, and I'm chasing them. I hooked into one. It was a nice big giant, and I've been putting pressure on my spots for quite some time within this last couple of weeks, but I'm really dying to get my cat in there and explore it from both directions.
Yeah.
What are you going to chase, Mitch?
Yeah, no, I got so many things to chase. I'll be heading out west again. There's a brown trout stream that I want to play on again. I know I can get some sweet footage. If you didn't see the video that I just put out, maybe we can do a little blurb, and I can show a little bit the aerial and spots to target these fish. But like these overgrown spring creeks are just amazing to find fish. Like, well, I guess I pause it there. You can see these little back. This is an overhanging bush there. You can see, right? And just backwater there. The current's coming down this way. And these are all undercut banks. Perfect brown trout habitat.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be going for them, I'm going to be casting up just above it, probably like 8-10 feet, and just roll it right through there. And those fish will come out from those dark spots.
Yeah.
And
you bet.
Those undercuts are like, it's great fishing undercuts, because you know there's fish there, but you don't know when they're going to hit it, and then they hit it, and it's just crazy fun.
Like, there's some more somewhere in here. Like, this is just ooh. I think right here.
So just
no, that's when he lost it. But you have these overhanging banks.
Nice.
Right
That's a good
there.
one.
And you cast right along those edges,
For sure.
and it's nothing but goodness. Whoa, remove. But yeah, I really want to get back on that stream now. Kind of figuring out the drone and bring it a lot tighter, because you can see right in there with the drone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You'll be able to see all those hits and everything shooting out from those edges.
Yeah. Well, speaking of drones, for anyone who does have one, I would highly recommend you get a polarized lens for them, and take them when you're going river fishing, and then fly it upstream and get it to film, and then fly it downstream, and then you'll be able to see you'll actually good chance of seeing fish and seeing the big fish in pools. And then you can decide which you're going to go upstream or downstream.
But that's like running a Livescope.
Yeah, it's the Livescope for stream fishing, I know. But are you going to say no to it?
I'm not going to look at it. I kind of know that stream pretty good. I know where they sit always. It's a nice remote stream. You 4x4 into it.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. But we also rolled down the trunk road to the Ram, and it was just starting to come down last weekend. But the structure's totally changed after all the runoff. And
that's the
joy. Stream just went streamlined. There's no more bends or anything. But there's still a couple holes that'll be interesting to see what happened, but who knows?
But that's the great thing about rivers; they change every year. It doesn't. You can think you figured the river out one year, and it'll be completely different the next year.
Awesome.
Yeah. See, this river's been good for 10 years at least.
Oh,
But
yeah.
this year was crazy. Like when we went there, you can see where it's running over the whole floodplain. There's trees everywhere. It'll be fun to learn it again. There's some big holes that were there that are not anymore. So we'll just have to get out and check it out.
100%.
Adam or Broden, Adam says you're lazy for trying to use the drone.
Well, if it makes him feel any better, I actually don't own a drone. I'm not that rich. I'm just telling anyone who does have a drone, they can try that. Most of my close friends know I'm pretty hardcore in the form of I will walk a very long way, and per se, I will drag my kayak a very long way.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. You did a good drag a little while ago there.
Yeah, that was like 20-something kilometers.
Bring a couple sandwiches.
Nah, just was it energy bars and plenty of water.
Good.
Yeah, Adam's just bugging you. If you haven't seen a bunch of Adam's videos lately, like he's got a bunch out and he's got some awesome footage of flying over some sturgeon as they're running up spawning, and he always has great videos, so you have to check him out, the Horseshoe Kid. Anyway,
he does. I've been watching a fair few of those things, and it's really nice to see the actual sturgeon spawning. That's a good sign for that river.
Yeah. And I think it's just getting better and better, even though they're saying they're not doing as great. But there's a lot of things they can do better. I know some of the researchers they're picking for the tagging programs not great, in my eyes, from who I've seen.
I'm not going to go into details about my opinions on that, but I know full well that Adam has some choice opinions on the sturgeon fishery down there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If you guys are planning for a trip, we got a little bit of time. What's your most important things before you head out for a weekend? What are you gonna bring? Broden.
Definitely food. Obviously, food for one. That is definitely important. No, in all seriousness, depending on the species and stuff, I will generally double check my stock for flies and spin gear. Yes, also beer. That sort of goes with food because eating is cheating. But yeah, generally speaking, I'll set up my rods. I'm one of the guys who leaves my rods set up in the car, so no one can ride in my car at all because it's always loaded with fishing gear.
Yeah.
And I have a tote in the back of my car that's generally loaded up with full array of multi-species tackle. So if I'm going on a bit of a trip or an adventure and I want to pick a stream or even pick a lake to stop at, I've generally got some form of tackle to do that.
Aaron?
Yeah, I'm going to pretty much pack for every species of fish that I'm targeting. I pack big wherever I go. I got rope, I got tarps, I got trailers, I got trucks. As of right now, my truck's in the shop, so I've been without for quite some time. That's a pretty bad move, but I've been hooking up with people that are taking me out lately and just not letting it get the best of me, because without your vehicle, I got an SUV right now that I've been using, so I've been learning how to like that just a little bit. You know, you can't pack as much and you can't pull as much, but you can still pack for those trips. But I pack for everything. I pack for tenting. I pack everything. I'm a big, solid packer.
Oh, a solid packer.
A solid packer.
Interesting.
I bring everything in the kitchen sink, man. I bring it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I always have a tarp in the truck and a little survival kit. Like if you watched that last video, I bought one off
Yep.
Wish, and it had everything kind of in there. So maybe in a couple of weeks I'll do a show staying overnight just using that with a fishing rod.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we can make everything happen. There's a lot of things you can do with a space blanket. You can make a shelter, and there's a ton of stuff that you really don't need if you want to just survive.
Yeah.
100%. Like you said, you just need a basic shelter, basic sleeping, and just some form of food or calorie intake, and you're basically sorted.
Yeah. Okay. What's a new product you guys are liking right now? Is there something that you've seen or been using that's kind of sticking out in your mind that people may have not seen yet? Or I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Damn. Well, I will say probably, well, if we talk about products, I could say my new reel that I got is the new Lexa HD. That's been dynamite, apart from the time that I won't say who, when they spooled my line, wrecked the spool, and so had to get a new spool. But ever since then, it has been very, very nice, and it's definitely been getting its work out on some big pike.
Yeah. And do you like those more than spin cast?
I like both. I'm not favoring to any or all. Like I've got quite a few bait casters. I've got quite a few nice spins. I've got Stratics and all that in spins. I've got a couple of Lexas now. It depends on the situation. I find I'm using, for my larger fish now, I'm using bait casters, especially for open water. Except for my new Stratic. The Stratic that I've got is a 4500, so I'll probably take that Laker fishing now.
That's huge.
Well, I got a really good deal on it, so I couldn't say no to it.
Aaron?
I don't have any I got a lot of stuff right now, so I mean with the store right next door to me, everything that he brings in at Hooked Up Fishing Gear has been on my radar. So checking out his new kayaks that he's got. He's getting some hunting apparel in the store here shortly, and all the exciting things that go with living right next door to a fishing store. That keeps me occupied and busy. But other than trying out his new plastics and stuff like that, they've been really put to the test. So they've been working. The garlic scent stuff. So I don't know. I don't really have anything. I'm fully loaded with a lot of stuff right now. So.
Yeah, no, if you look right in that picture, there's a hooked up tackle tube that he made for me before I headed out to Cold Lake, and it was awesome. That's a pickle with orange on one side.
Yeah.
And the second day we threw that down, and it was fire the whole time.
Yeah, you betcha.
Even in the winter, I was using tubes for big pike on a big pike lake, and I think I lost 3 just because they were snapping my 30-pound braid. But
yeah,
and I lost the rod that time too. But
were you running leader, or like it was just snapping, like pulling the line that tight?
They were snapping. That was straight braid to the leader.
Holy!
They're snapping the braid at the leader. I don't know if they're just running the ice hard and something snapped because you're only fishing 4 feet of water, 3 feet of water, going sideways. But bad luck anyways.
Yeah. Unless for some odd reason you had some sort of UV damage on the braid and the braid wasn't at 100% strength.
That could have been a possibility.
Up to 50.
Nah, I don't run 50.
No, I'm a 30 guy. Broden, you see what Adam's saying here?
Oh, funny enough, I was going to buy that, and then because I saw his little post of his video as he was fishing, I thought, damn, I need a 10-foot spin rod. But unfortunately, there was some mechanical issues with my car, so that was a $700 and something bill later. So that was fun.
You got to get Greg Rice out. He hasn't used his kayak yet.
Yeah, he's got to get out. Get on.
Why would you go on a kayak when you've got a jet boat like his, though?
You put it on top of the jet boat, get to the Sturgeon hole, then hop in the kayak.
Yeah.
Well, you hook onto the Sturgeon in the jet boat, and then you quickly jump into the kayak, and then say you've caught it 100% in the kayak.
Would that be legit in the Western Kayak Series?
No. For one, Sturgeon are not on the list, and also it's technically mother shipping.
Ah. So you can't get pulled anywhere?
No.
No.
They say pull. They didn't say push though.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I might be able to push someone in a belly boat around.
In 130 feet of water.
I could do that.
Yeah.
You should bring that belly boat up to that trip. See if you hook into a 40-pound laker in it.
I don't think I'll get a 40-pound laker. I'll probably, if I'm lucky, get a 30-inch.
Yeah.
We fished hard, and our biggest ones were 30s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're chunky monkeys.
No, I was talking about the fly-in trip.
Oh, up there. Yeah. We could do it easily. But this time of year, those bigger lake trout are more in the trough, so you spend a lot of time just searching.
Yeah.
So there is spots you can just go and catch 5 to 10s all day and just sit there. But
theoretically, we could just jump in the boat and tie the belly boat to the back of the boat, and you control behind the boat. You'll be laughing.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'd rather sit in the boat.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's do you guys with the summer kind of in full swing, are you guys going to be changing species at all, or are you going to kind of focus on the same species for the upcoming? Because I know summer gets super hot, so I'm always changing my species from different times of year. Is there a species that you want to target in this hotter weather that'll be more effective?
Well, I would start doing streams right now just because the streams haven't got so hot yet. They're all starting to come down. So I could, honestly, looking at the long range, I could probably stream fish for the next 6 to 8 weeks comfortably. I think in certain spots I could definitely fish them. I've got quite a few that stay pretty. Maybe some more pike at them, maybe some more. But and then, or in early August, I'll start doing laker fishing anyway. So it's going to be a mix of laker and stream fishing, and then as it goes into September, I'll switch back to trout and some fall walleye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron?
I'm just dying to get on Athabasca, man. To tell you the truth, I just want to go hit all species, all 5 of them, all the ones that I did last year, and just get on them and hang out with some gold eye. I don't even care. But I'd like to get on some sturgeon, but I am not a sturgeon fisherman at all, but it's on my top priority list right now. Kyle, my buddy, just got a nice big rod, and he's ready to take that out and give it a test. And I just want to join him with it. And just my equipment's not up to par for sturgeon fishing at all. But if he's going to have some stuff, then take me out, then let's go. So hopefully we could get on some sturgeon before the end of the season here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably just hit the trout soon. Yeah. Lakers. I want to go for pike. I haven't been yet. I got to take Tinny out to a lake, but yeah, we'll see.
Do I know that lake?
Yeah. I don't know how the weeds are doing there. I might just wait till winter.
Yeah.
Weeds are actually pretty low. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe take Tinny in there. I don't really. I can go to Sylvan. Sylvan's nice. Fish the big cabbage, spot fish them.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that at all.
No.
That's always a good time for big logs. And yeah, the trout. It's time to hit up some cutties and bowls. So it's perfect time right now. Like last week, the hoppers were hopping around. There were some big, I believe, brown drakes were coming off, and there were some smaller mayflies. But those browns were going for the big drakes. They're hopping right out of the water, like launching themselves. So that was pretty crazy.
It's the time of the year that 95% of fly fishermen are running a hopper dropper.
Oh, I'm 100% going stimulator. I do stimulators. I'm not a hopper dropper.
You're a stimmy man. Okay.
Oh, 100%. I got the color. And when I do a small nymph, it's tiny. And
Yeah.
I do, it's black, rubber legs, gold bead head with, I use a peacock curl body with a gold run through it. That's all I use.
Oh, okay.
But it seems to do really well, and you'll probably catch 60 to 70% of your fish on that dropper.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam runs the double nymphs. Is that under a hopper dropper, Adam, or
He
you
might
just
be. I wonder if
running
he's
doubles?
Euro nymphing it. He could be Euro nymphing it, or he could be running it under an indicator itself.
Yeah, because I'll run a double nymph when I'm just fishing certain things, but
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, see, he's running nymphs below the surface.
Yeah.
And half of the time with those cutthroats, they're porpoising those hooks.
Yeah.
And your hookup rate's not as good as doing a nymph running through those rapids and on those seams. So,
yeah.
But with that, does anybody have any other questions for tonight? We'll let her go for a bit. What are your guys' plans this weekend?
I have to go to a wedding. I have been voluntold, so I will be attending that. And then Sunday, I will possibly try to figure out some sort of contraption to get myself out fishing.
A contraption to get yourself out fishing?
Or just take a bunch of Tylenol and just go fishing.
Yeah, but you've been using it for 2 weeks, so.
Well, I know, but it's been like painful doing it. So I could just continue doing what I've been doing, and that's been taking Tylenol. I don't know.
Perch and rivers. Hopefully
Yeah.
I can visit some rivers this weekend and do some perch fishing while I'm at it. So see how that works.
Are you gonna take the yak out?
If I got somebody to go with, yeah, because I can't take it in the SUV, right? So,
You don't leave the back door open?
Oh, it opens up from the back, right from the bottom up. So no.
No, we've already discussed this, Aaron. Remember, we're going to load the kayak up sideways, and then we put you in the kayak, and then when we get to the lake, we just do a big U-turn, and you go launching off into the lake, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll work.
Why don't you just put it through the windows, through the back windows, slide it in sideways,
That was on the list.
and tie it down.
Yeah.
Princess Auto had foam roof racks, I think, for $35.
Yeah. Princess
Yeah.
Auto.
Princess Auto.
Okay. Might have to make a little trip this week because I'm
Yeah.
dying in that kayak so bad.
Then your wife can't complain because then you it's like,
Yeah. No, it's true. It's my own fault. I just figured my truck would be fixed in a week, like they said, and months later, I'm still sitting here with part shortages. So that's been rough.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got to get on the telephone and take care of business.
Yeah, it's not been fun. It's been quite the process, but what are you gonna do? Parts are limited these days, but I don't know.
What you got a Dodge, don't you?
No Tundra.
Oh,
Yeah. Parts are probably still in China.
Probably. Or Texas. Yeah.
Russia's holding them back.
Yeah. Someone's holding them back, that's for sure. It's really taken a lot out of me this year. I've been really itching to get out since ice fishing season, and then somebody crashes my truck at the very beginning of summer, and that's it. I haven't seen it since. But what are you gonna do? It's okay.
Well, you could get like a moped or something.
Yeah.
No doubt. Just a shopping
Get a
cart with
little
a
wagon. Moped and a wagon.
Yeah. Or get one of those e-bikes and
Yeah.
get like make a little cart and just strap it to the back and just go.
It's on the list of things to do, along with the roof rack for the SUV for sure. I think I'll go with that roof rack. I'll go check it out and just get over and done with, and just move on.
I'll send you a link tonight. I'm pretty sure it was $35. But yeah.
Yeah. They don't even have an estimated time of arrival for my truck, so it's been rough. Phone
Did
calls
you
are
try source parts somewhere else?
No doubt. I should have. What they shouldn't have taken my truck, and they should have just let me drive it until they had the parts in store. But why they didn't do that, I don't know. But what are you gonna do? I managed to fish quite a bit. I got some solid buddies that come help a guy out, right? So that's good. I don't let it get me down. I still get out fishing. So
yeah. Another event coming up in August September long. The Alberta Overland Expo.
Yes.
Which should be a good time.
yeah.
Worth checking out. I know they got 3 fishing ponds there. 4x4 trips daily.
Yep.
And they got a bunch of other stuff. Man trackers there.
Is that the one out at Hinton this year?
Yeah, between Hinton and Edson.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So it's a great time. I think it might almost be sold out.
Yeah.
So if you want to get involved in that or get out there, it's a great time. I know Jason Brown puts it on. Great guy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a phenomenal show. And if you're looking for something to do September long.
Yeah.
That's something to do. I know there's going to be some fishing stuff going on there, some presentations on Sunday, I believe.
Okay.
Oh.
So you might want to check it out. I don't know who it is yet, but I might know. But that's to be announced.
Yeah. Is it you?
I don't know yet. That's my bass fishing weekend.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm literally bass fishing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Well, let's wrap her up.
Okay.
Hope everybody has a good week. Make sure you get out fishing this week or on the weekend. The water's coming down. There's lots to explore. The weather is looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So get out, make a memory. Thanks, Broden, for being on. Where can they find you?
Facebook, Broden Smith. Instagram, Frodo Goes on an Adventure.
Aaron?
Facebook, Aaron Bullerwell, and Instagram, Gear and Tackle Travels, along with the locators as well on Instagram.
One last thing. You guys doing walleye wars this year?
I was going to, but I have decided to pull the pin on that. I just can't with work, with time booked off and then work. I just can't quite book that in.
Yeah.
Same with me.
We'll see. I think it's in September this year. So
is that the Are they doing the solo one or is that the team one?
Solo. I think there's a Livescope in
Oh, so
there
Adam-
for draw.
So
and
Adam,
all the cash as well. So
Adam won't be competing because there's a live scope he could win. So he doesn't want that, does he?
Jab, jab.
yeah, no, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like last year, they couldn't get the full tournament, so we'll see what happens. But there's still prize money. I know. Yeah, one guy pretty much took it all. Him and his son in Southern Alberta.
He killed it because he and his son had 7 of the top 10.
7 or 6 for sure. Yeah.
They just killed it.
Nice.
Yeah, I put in one day down there, then called it pretty much. My trolling motor went, then called her a day after that. I should have went and hit some different areas down there, but not familiar with too much of that area. We landed a bunch of nice fish, but this year I kind of know a little more areas, so we'll see. We'll see what happens in September. That's hunting season, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody have a good night. We'll see you next Tuesday with a new show. So get outdoors, make a memory. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me, Mitch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers.
Adios.